I offer you my presence. I offer you my feet, my calves, my shoulders, my knees, my hands, my lips, my breasts, my cheeks, my freckles, my hair, my eyelashes, my belly button, my clavicle, the inside of my elbow. I offer you red blood cells, bone marrow, rods and cones, my vena cava, my inner eardrum, the alveoli of my lungs.
Hi, my name is Léda Davies, and I am one of the collaborators on the project Fish at the Bottom of the Sea. I acted as a movement director in the first creation phases, and I will be stepping in as the performer in the following creation stages and then the performance. Fish at the Bottom of the Sea is a play that deals with themes of death and grief. In the story, Eve, who is the main character, has lost her lover in a fatal car accident and is negotiating the realities of her loss and is trapped in what we're identifying as a liminal space. In bed, watching the sky turning gray to gray to gray, I turn and close my eyes to find the empty space inside my body where my memory of you exists.
I was compelled to write this play because I was trying to work out an answer for myself about what grief is and what to do with these experiences that leave you feeling really gripped by a certain moment in time.
I map out blank space in my body, imagining it complete and untouched, protected and warm.
I mostly saw my role as feeding back on the creation process that was being made in the room and interpreting the physical work that I saw into narrative that would help inform the script that already existed or add to it in a new way. Grief is, by its nature, a very cyclical process where we return back to places that we've been before, and we can move through stages of grief, not in a linear order, but by constantly looping back and experiencing the same thing over and over again in slightly different ways. Nicole's writing structurally kind of mirrors that idea of grief and processing, in that it uses a lot of recurring imagery and ideas and themes that are revisited in a non-linear way.
And the bungee plays an important role in this, in the sense that sometimes you're in control, or you think you're in control when you are in the apparatus, and sometimes you are not. The apparatus is also very mercurial in the way that it reacts to the body. It's in constant movement, and there are times when you will surrender your weight into the apparatus, and it will offer you support, and other times where the support isn't there.
It was also about zeroing in on certain moments in time and exploring the dimensions and reverberations that live in the body and move in the body long after the actual moment has passed.
So whether it's the structure of the apparatus or the structure of the text, each element is being filtered through the felt sense of the body.
It's about finding a self-created ritual in order to accept loss. And it's about connecting with the ordinary things around you, like the streets of Edmonton, in order to use them to propel you forward into a different moment.
And the structure of the play itself actually mirrors the content. So when we were trying to devise a way of working, we were trying to create a structure of creating that also mirrored the content.
So all of these aspects of the bungee, of its resistance or lack thereof, of its ability to become a container of support, but then also how sometimes that support isn't there, all intermingles with these thoughts and ideas.
It's about finding a way to get underneath the words through movement, gesture, and image, and really try to understand the state that was being created by language.
One of the things we came to a bit later in the process was the idea of thinking about the play through the lens of attributing different phases of grief in the 5 or 7 stages of grief to different sections of the text in order to kind of use it as a dramaturgical framing for what was happening for that character at different points throughout the play. And then Léda took that one step further and then started thinking from a dance perspective, thinking about different states of being in terms of solid, liquid, gas, plasma, and what that means in terms of everything being jammed tightly together or more spread out and loose and floating, and what that physicality might mean in terms of understanding those stages of grief and thereby understanding some of the text.
Because the movement was really being drawn from the somatic experience of being in the apparatus, the movement vocabulary has unfolded in this very organic way, and so has the layering in of the text. So why here, why now? I think we are in a state of grief and grieving as a society. We have gone through a series of immense losses, and there is catharsis in the ritualization of that grief and the embodiment of that grief and the staging of that grief, and the communal aspect of that.